welcome back to my channel. I am going to wrap up my Sardinia series. I'm gonna do a video on my days 7 to 9 in Sardinia. So if you want to see more incredible beaches, beach clubs, meals, a bit more of Porto Rotondo where we stayed, then this is the video for you. If you are just finding me on this video, I have done a lot of videos on my trip to Sardinia. We were there for 9 days. So I did one just highlighting all of the beaches, and then I've been doing like single or a couple day itineraries. So that way, if you're planning a trip and you want to stay in kind of the northeast of Sardinia like we did, then this video and these videos are the series for you. So if that sounds good, I will leave everything linked down below. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and let's dive in. So today is now day 7 in Sardinia, and unfortunately we woke up to the remnants of a storm. So we went to go open up our kind of roof terrace just to take a look at the weather, and everything was coated in sand, and it was very clear that there was some sort of storm type situation overnight that we just didn't hear with our air conditioning on. Everything was overcast. It was a bit gloomy, but my friend still really wanted to go to the beach. We decided to go to a beach that was recommended by one of our local friends, and we went up to Cala de Volpe to Capricole Beach West. And this beach is actually an interesting one because you drive all the way over there, and I recommend bookmarking the parking lot that's adjacent to the beach. And there's like a north, south, east, and west equivalent of these beaches, and each one are these kind of tiny little stretches of sand flanked by kind of a rocky beach situation. And we wandered along we didn't go to the north, but we went to the kind of east, west, south equivalent of it. And we realized that the west equivalent was the one with the beach chairs that we could hire for the day, which, because we hadn't brought our own umbrella for this, we weren't gonna go just rock up on the beach, but pretty much all of them were like free local beaches. So if you have your own kind of beach gear, that would be great for you. We paid 20 euros each for our beach chairs, sat down, and the weather took a massive turn for the worse. It started to get really windy. We heard thunder in the distance, and although my friend was very happy to ride it out, I just looked at her and said, hey, I think I'm gonna go to the nearby beach club and just have a coffee because it's raining, and even with the umbrella, I'm not really enjoying myself. So she said, oh, well, let me come with you, even though I said you don't have to. So we ended up having a coffee at the Vesper Beach Club, and the weather and the rain just kept taking a turn for the worse, but she said that she still wanted to go swimming. So I said, well, I'll watch your stuff while I sit under the lovely cover of the beach club. And as luck would have it, the weather actually rebounded and the sun came out, so we ended up salvaging the day. But while she was on her long swimming break, decided I would have a cocktail at the beach club, because my rule in traveling is when it rains, if you're not driving, which I wasn't today, you have a drink. You read your book, you chill. And I ordered this sunset spritz, which I knew was gonna be a little bit dangerous because it comes with Patron Silver tequila, mango puree, Prosecco, and soda water. So basically it's almost like an Aperol spritz, but with tequila instead. So yes, definitely more dangerous, but it was super good. And almost like with aperitivo here, it came with just some crackers and some olives as like a little snack. And I just proceeded to chill out, read my book, and wait for my friend to get back. And then after, we went back to the beach and laid around for another hour in the sun. And yeah, it was just quite chilled out. And what was nice about this beach is with the Vesper Beach Club, I imagine this would be so super lively during the actual season. It wasn't so much today, but it is the kind of place where you could go for a coffee, a snack, a full meal. They do have showers and toilets there, but they charge for them. So I'm assuming if you bought like a bed there for the day, it would all be included, but if you wanted to go use the toilet, it was €1, and I think showering and other things were like €4 or €5. So just consider yourself warned. And in comparison, where we were, you had to walk up a little hill, but there was a La Pirate, restaurant, which also had a free bathroom included, so you didn't have to pay for the bathroom there. So yeah, really nice. My friend said that she liked this beach the best because it was small and quiet. Now I imagine in the high season it would probably not be, but was really nice for us in the shoulder season. And then now we're back at the apartment in Porto Rotondo, and we're just gonna shower. Definitely need, this situation needs a little shower. It's super hot and humid today, and we're gonna go find a dinner in Porto Rotondo and maybe do some shopping. So as always, I will keep you posted with what we get up to. We went to dinner at a place called Paramari, which is located along the harbor in Porto Rotondo, and it was recommended by our friend Sergio, and it was a great recommendation. We started with this incredible octopus dish, which came with tomatoes, olives, I think maybe some celery in there. It was so, so, so good. I just loved all of the fresh seafood that we had in Porto Rotondo and Sardinia overall. And then my friend for her main had this like tuna steak on spinach, which she said was really good. It almost looks like red meat here, but I promise you it is actually tuna. And then I had a seared tuna, which came with pistachio and like this berry sauce, which was also fantastic. Definitely paled a little bit in portion size compared to my friends, but I think when paired with the octopus starter, and then of course we had some dessert, was plenty of food for me. But yeah, I just really enjoyed the flavors. I had a lot of tuna on this trip because a lot of it is actually caught locally, so hence the reason for so much tuna. And then yes, we did have a dessert, which apparently is like a special local one in Sardinia, and I'm really sorry that I forget the name offhand, but it's like this kind of fried pastry, and I think it has some sort of like cheesy type filling inside. It was really good and the perfect way to end the meal. And then after, we went back to the coffee pot in Porto Rotondo. It was our favorite spot there, what can I say? Then the next morning we started with a great breakfast at our apartment rental. I had a great apartment rental in Porto Rotondo. I will leave it linked down below. I booked it on booking.com and they were fantastic. And we just loved having breakfast at our apartment every morning. But the mission of the day was to go try another beach, and this one is called Cala, which was also a recommendation, I think, from both our friend Sergio and our friend Fabrizia. So when you have two Italians recommending it, I mean, wouldn't be rude not to go and check it out. And this beach was such a large beach. It was also located on kind of a crescent, almost bay-like area. None of the beaches we went to in this part of Sardinia had big waves. There were lots of different seating areas, kind of each controlled by different businesses. We picked one that was attached to kind of a little cafe snack bar. It was kind of right in the middle. Really lovely white chairs with the thatched umbrellas. And a really great view. This was one of my favorite beaches just because of the mountainous landscape that you saw from the beach. And it really took my breath away. It wasn't my favorite beach for swimming, if I'm honest. We did have a pretty good swimming area, but there were all these like little fish in there, and I feel like I just kept getting a little bit freaked out with them, like kind of like kissing at my legs, basically. But there was a pretty good swimming area, so my friend really enjoyed it. I just think maybe I'm a little spooked with ocean swimming. A little bit better at the pool, if I'm honest, but I just love the beauty of this beach, so to me that was what made it a super special visit. So for lunch, another reason why we selected this beach is we always wanted to go to beaches that had good sit-down restaurants for lunch, not just like a simple snack cafe, although that can be useful for like midday ice creams. This beach has a Fino beach restaurant, which Fino is also a well-known restaurant in northern Sardinia. This is the Fino beach location, and it was just really nice to break up a day of basically just sitting. My friend had like a seafood pasta, which to be fair, I didn't think looked that great, but she said it was nice. I decided to go a little bit more on brand for me with a chicken salad, which came with mushrooms, Parmesan cheese, lots of great lettuce, just like a good amount of bacon. I really just like these kind of simple meals. And then we had a shakerato for, I guess, dessert, which is basically just espresso and ice shaken together in a cocktail shaker. It's not an alcoholic drink, it's just coffee. But this was a really nice way to end the meal. But yeah, we really liked this ritual of breaking up the day, of basically just kind of lounging, reading, swimming, strolling on the beach with a really lovely lunch. And then after the meal, because obviously it's great for digestion, we decided to take another long walk, kind of the length of the beach. Also just to enjoy the many different little areas of this really large kind of crescent-shaped beach. And yeah, it was just such a perfectly relaxing day. So this is really one of the reasons why you would come to Sardinia, and specifically this part of Sardinia. All of the beaches are really lovely and relaxed like this. They have really nice quality kind of sand, great water for swimming. The beaches are really designed kind of for having this lovely time, both for families and people of really all ages with how they're set up. Then we made our way back to Porto Rotondo. We were sitting on our roof terrace and had the most magical sunset I think I've seen in a long time. I just loved the roof terrace of this apartment rental, and having a little glass of wine or just sitting up there with a glass of water, it was magical. Then for dinner, we went to a place called Ristorante La Pinta. This was also recommended by our local friends that we made in Porto Rotondo. So we started with a really lovely fresh salad, had a little bit of like cheese, vegetables in there, tomatoes, simple, delicious pleasures. And yeah, just this was a really good local spot, I should mention. It was very crowded to get in here. And then I had this seared tuna, which had these like sesame seeds crusted on top. And it was so good and like a little bit crunchy and like toasted nutty flavor from the sesame seeds. We shared some mixed grilled vegetables just to, we started to realize that a lot of these entrees, you know, just come with the entree. And then there also was a seared tuna with pistachio as well. Again, I mentioned lots of tuna on the menu here. And then to finish, we decided to have a tiramisu because when in Italy, why not? And it was really good. So we thoroughly enjoyed this meal, and I would definitely recommend this one if you're in Porto Rotondo. And then, like the creatures of habit that we were, we finished at the coffee pot because why not? Then the next morning we went back to an old favorite of ours, which is the Bar Molto, I think it's Ristorante Bar Il Molto. And this is one we actually had a more formal sit-down dinner at, but they also have kind of a bar and gelateria as part of it. They do a really fantastic brunch. I think my favorite one that I had in Porto Rotondo. So I had eggs with tomato, prosciutto, fresh bread. Oof, chef's kiss. Just really simple pleasures, prepared exceptionally well. Our friends ended up meeting us for a coffee and a chat, which was great. And then my friend actually had some other kind of errands to run, so we split paths, and I decided that I wanted to just have a lovely long walk around Porto Rotondo, which basically means it's a big round port. And there are certain parts of it that I hadn't wandered through yet. So I thought this was my chance just to go be a little bit the travel blogger, take some beautiful pictures, and just experience some different sides of Porto Rotondo. I think if I were ever to buy a vacation home, this would be super high on my list because it has all the things you could want in terms of it's a walkable small town, tons and tons of kind of apartments there, great restaurants, luxury shopping, just really friendly, lovely culture. And it's it's just breathtakingly beautiful. And I feel so grateful to have experienced Porto Rotondo in essentially the very end of the season / shoulder season, because it wasn't super crowded. So we got to meet people. We weren't fighting for restaurant bookings. We just kind of waltzed in. I think the only one we had to really wait at was the one we had on our last evening, the Restaurante La Pinta. So it was a very wonderful time of year. It's still super warm, which was great. So later that day, we made our way back to Ira Beach, which I think is what you would see in one of my very first Porto Rotondo travel vlogs. We loved this beach club and we loved the restaurant here. So we figured in terms of like a last lunch in Porto Rotondo, we're gonna come here. So we had an octopus starter. We also got some more grilled vegetables, which were great. And then I had this, it was kind of like a tuna steak. It was supposed to be seared tuna, but it was sliced really thickly. And if I'm honest with you, it looks so beautiful in the camera, but it was almost a little bit too thick and too raw for me. I really liked the skinnier, more seared pieces, but that's just a weird food thing for me. I didn't get ill or anything. I just a personal preference. And then from there, we very sadly made our way back to the airport. It was such a wonderful end of the trip. If you are watching this video because you're considering a trip to Sardinia, and specifically northeastern Sardinia, around like the Porto Rotondo, Porto Cervo, Costa Smeralda area, Cala de Volpe area, yes, go. It is just absolutely wonderful. And I haven't experienced this in the high season, which is more the month of August, but if you were thinking about doing it in the shoulder season, like early to middle September, I would say probably by like the 15th of September, everything starts to get really quiet. But if you could do your trip, I think we did ours we did it for 9 days. So you can do the math, but we went home, I think around the 15th or so. So yeah. But I would definitely recommend that time window because it was just so easy to get around. And yes, it was quieter, but I think it made the trip a lot better. So, oh my gosh, drum roll please. Wrapping up the Sardinia series, I feel like I've made so many videos, and for good reason, because I loved it so much. But if I have not answered a question, you have some other things you want to see if I had some feedback on, please leave a comment down below. And also, even if this video just helped you, a really nice way to say thank you would be A, to like the video, and B, just to leave a comment letting me know that this video helped you in your travel planning, because that just means the world to me to know that I'm helping. And also, if there were other places or tips that you have on Sardinia, specifically northern Sardinia, please leave them in a comment, because sharing is caring here on this channel, and I want to go back, so I want to buy a vacation home there. So please leave your comments there. And if you really liked this video and you want to see more of my travel and lifestyle blog, adventures, blog, I have a blog too, that's linked down below. Please consider subscribing to follow me on this wonderful YouTube journey. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you soon.